Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to episode 84 of the Emergency Storage Shed Cleanout series. I'm actually talking to you now from back at the coalface. There's almost an echo in here, although it's far from empty. But watch, I'll walk towards the door. This has been the first time for a long time I've been able to actually take numerous steps in this shed. The camera's right at the door now, and we've made good progress. For those of you who watched last episode, we got those steel pipe racks out and we sold them pretty much straight away, which was great. We now have a little bit of a pile to dismantle before it falls on us. Okay, let's walk all the way back here. This is amazing. We have to get rid of, we'll start at the top. We'll do those picture frames. We'll have a look at what's in that old rubbish bin there. I think the next box is possibly just bubble wrap for packing. So we should be able to get down that stack pretty quickly, because I want to clear up the floor in the center section, and most of it's resting on the edge of that broken box. So we're going to work our way down there. I'm resisting the urge to get into some of the stuff on this shelf because there's some pretty cool stuff. A couple of people have pointed out some nice old keyboards up there, early computer monitors. We went through it last time. We won't waste time now. Let's get rid of that precarious pile there on top of the blue bucket. And then we can have a look in the tub at the bottom. I'm not sure if we'll get to that in this episode. We probably won't. And the other, we had a mini avalanche. Well, not really. We had a couple of rags really just fall out of the bucket up there. So that's pretty well as dangerous as it's got in here, even though all these piles are threatening to fall on me. And we did have something give me a bit of a scare last episode. But they've fallen on this box here, which we didn't get to last time. And it's really just a box of brackets. Angled brackets, handy for putting shelves up and that sort of stuff. I'm probably going to sell most of them. I don't think I need them here. We won't go through that on the bench, and I'm not going to jot down any value for that, but it is handy stuff. Anyway, in this episode, we'll get those frames down, see if they're of any value, and then we'll get that green plastic rubbish bin. Might be more rags. If that's the case, we'll move down the stack. Okay, the frames aren't anything particularly interesting. It looks like that's been in a shed, whereas it had rats over it. It's probably a nice old oak frame, probably dates to the 1920s or 30s. Yeah, probably 20s. Still quite usable, very dirty. I have a local customer that buys these frames off me. I might just give it a wash and put $10 on it. I'll wash it up and see what it looks like before I work out a price. The other one really has nothing going for it. It's pretty wonky. It's not elaborate at all. It's probably not even quite as old. So I think, honestly, this one can just be timber to light the fire with. Too late now, but we've made a decision. And decision making is what this whole series is about, other than I need my shed to use as a workshop and I'm selling stuff to make money. But we're really here to process stuff, to get rid of it efficiently, effectively, without anything going to landfill, well, as little as we can help, and see what, how we can process stuff, use it, sell it, give it away. Rags. I thought it might have been rags. It wasn't very heavy, and a workshop does need lots of rags, but I have got plenty at the moment. So what I'm going to do with these, looks like old jumpers, tracksuit pants, shorts, t-shirts. Okay, our local transfer station has just started a textile recycling section where you can drop textiles off any sort of fabric for nothing and it gets recycled. Very happy to hear that. Check out your transfer station, because a lot of them are starting to do it now, and we should support these programs. So that's where all this is going. I don't need any of it around here. I've got enough rags. This can go to the transfer station. I just happen to be going out there tomorrow and it will all be recycled. And then I'll have a rubbish bin back to use. And this tub, I'm fairly certain, is just bubble wrap, which is really handy because I do a lot of eBay work. Well, not so much at the moment, but I generally do a lot. Plus, with you guys watching videos and pointing out things, I'm actually making a few sales through here and sending out stuff to subscribers and followers. There's some new bubble wrap here, never been opened. Some of those air pillows. Lots of big sheets of bubble wrap. That's excellent. We save all this when we see it. I have been known to jump in a skip just to drag out big bundles of bubble wrap because it's expensive if you've got to buy it new. So this can go to the shop. It will be really handy for packaging up stuff, of course. And Christine uses some of these pillows to puff out her bags when she's selling the bags at the shop. They're handy just to give that bag a better look than a piece of fabric that's sort of slumped to one side. So we'll use all this. Excellent. And I get a tub back, which I'll probably take to the farm next trip because we've got more stuff to load from the farm. Well, we're getting through this stack quickly. Yes, but we're not making any money this time. These wheels, I think we can make some dollars out of these wheels. So we'll have a bit of a sort out there. I do have a box of wheels in the shop that I processed a fair few videos ago. And I think we're getting $5 for odd ones, and I was getting 10 to 20 for pairs, but it depends what they are. These are a newer style, but the older wheels off toys and pedal cars and things were selling very well. All right, we'll go through that shortly. We're down to that blue bucket now. Let's go and get that. This is a bit heavier, and it actually is marked on the lid solder. I think it's plumber's solder that I've thrown in here. Let's have a look. Yes, I'll show you. So there's not a great deal in here, but it's quite heavy because, of course, solder is mostly lead. I think plumber's solder is 60% lead, 40% tin, something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. And this is just stuff I found in people's sheds when cleaning up. Now, if I do get long sticks of it in good condition, I actually have sold it through the shop, and you can get a fair bit for it because it's expensive to buy. But these are all part used and partly melted and a bit corroded. I don't know how's best to sell that. Let me know underneath if you sell solder to your scrapyard. Can it just go in with lead? I'm not sure. I'll have to check it out. In the meantime, I'll probably just keep this bucket going because as I clean out sheds, I do find the odd piece of it. And as I said, the longer sticks that look good enough to, well, I mean, these can be reused as well, but the longer sticks I tend to sell. The short bits just tend to go in this bucket. Maybe I can still put them in a container at the shop and just have $2 a pick or something. I'd get much better than lead price. Yeah, let me know what you do with solder. Now that that stack's gone, we can move the broken box. Oh, let's have a look behind here. There's a garden trimmer. That's a frame. That blue thing at the back there, you probably can't make out in the darkness. I was looking forward to getting to that. It's a frame of a really large mangle. So I won't tell you any more. Hopefully the rest of it's there. We will have an episode putting that together. There's an old ashtray stand upside down without the ashtray. It looks like a part of a shearing plant there. Yes, that goes with a Briggs & Stratton engine I've got somewhere. And it's the base of the console radio and some fuel cans up there. All right, that's enough of that. Let's move this broken box. So there was a fair bit of weight on that with that bucket of solder because that was quite heavy. And, ooh, okay, this was worth waiting for. Some old car radios. That looks like an antenna, a new old stock antenna. A car cassette player, maybe not that valuable. I know I've got some really good car radios somewhere, quite valuable ones. Looks like there's a Telstra phone. Okay, we better get this back onto the bench and have a good look. And that will probably finish off this video, but we found a cool box to go through to finish up with. That's great. Of course, there may not be much money in it either, but, you know, hey, it's cool. I like old radios and other electrical bits and pieces. Okay, let's get this blue bucket off the bench. I did weigh this, and it weighs about 15 kilos. So even at lead price, it's about $2.60, I think, my last list. There's probably nearly $40 worth if we sold it as lead, but I think I'd do much better selling it as actual plumbing solder. We might just write down $40 for that, just for the sake of this this exercise. All right, we'll sort the wheels out, and then we'll look in this tub. Okay, I'll be able to sell those two. They're a little rusty on the back, but I think we'd probably still get $10 a pair. I think they're new. I don't think they've ever been used. They've just been in storage. I reckon we'll get 10 for those. There's one of these big old solid rubber ones, but it's quite well worn, and there's only the one. Not sure what we're going to do with that. These are all tied together. These might have come from an auction somewhere. So there's no matching ones, is there? Do they match? Yeah, those two. Oh, no, they don't. I'm going to cut that cord. And I think these can just... Oh, that one's not much good. It's flat and the plastic's really gone brittle. These ones are cool, but they don't match. They're close. I'm just going to put these in a box at the shop for $5 each. People buy them for all sorts of reasons. That's a very lightweight one. I think they're modern and very light, and plastic looks no good. They can go in the bin too. That's a solid rubber one, bit knocked around, but still usable. Yeah, I think... Oh, do these match? These do. Don't know what they're off though. I reckon I'm just going to put the lot in the shop at $5 each. I've got another one of those somewhere. And people can decide. That's a good solid wheel, solid rubber. People can decide what they want. Sometimes people only need one wheel. That's just off a lawnmower. But sometimes people have a garden gate and they just want to have a wheel at the end of it to roll as they open and close the gate. They might be looking to replace one the same size off something. Maybe there's a child's toy that has a similar size and they want to fix it up. I don't need to know why. So I'll put these in the shop at $5 each. I don't expect to get $5 for every one of them. Over time, we're going to sell at least half without a problem. I said 10 for the pair of those. They might as well just go in here at $5 each. It saves a separate price ticker. So I'll work out how many's here, and we'll just do half of that price as far as the list goes, just to be conservative. But I think these ones would sell quite well. Anyway, we'll add them up. Maybe I'll just clean the tub out, and this whole tub can go in the shop as it is. Okay, let's get into this box. We'll see what's in here. Hopefully there's a bit of value. Electric power antenna. It looks like it was at a garage sale or at a market or something. Clearly it's been in unfavourable conditions, but I think it's new old stock. I'm sure it is, and it actually looks okay. I think the packaging looks the most weathered. I reckon we'd get $10 for that, maybe more. But I'll check it out online. But yeah, I'm not sure how much demand it will have, but I reckon we'd get $10 for it. I may take it out of the packaging though. Okay, car radios. This is a cassette radio. Clarion, we're a good brand. Can't see 962 presumably is the model. We don't have the knobs or anything with it. That's very loose. Of course, there's a chance it's not in operational condition. I'm probably going to have to look up the model and see if they sell these things. People do like to put these old things in their vintage cars and play cassettes for old time's sake. God, how much wiring is there? Hang on, we're tangled up. Oh, hang on. That looks like an amplifier for it. That's a power amplifier for it, so that's interesting. That's why the wires were going all the way. We'll check that out online, but I could see someone having a setup like that in their sort of vintage 1970s car and play cassettes. So we'll check that one out. Oh, we have some papers in here. What's this? Troubleshooting guide for what? Oh, it might be for a car radio. Oh, actually, I think that's for the... Oh no, tape jams. I wonder if that's for the Clarion we just had. Poor FM reception, tape flows slow. Alright, I don't think we really need it, but we'll keep it with it. Oh, unless it goes with this one. This is a Sterling, probably a much cheaper brand. AM/FM radio. It looks in better condition. At least we've got the knobs with it. So I'll check that one out as well. It again would suit a 70s era car. Now we have a cable here. That's just a standard DIN audio cable. Not sure if it suits the Clarion. I think it does. Yeah, I think that connects the tape deck to the power amplifier. What's in here? Goodness. They're garden hoe fittings that have the 3 prongs. They're brand new. It says Taiwan, they're probably 1980s. But why has the handle been cut off? That's very odd. I'd probably just put those in the $1 box at the shop. Most people probably won't even recognise them. Here we have our Telstra phone. Very yellowed, very dirty. They do actually sell these things, so it's possibly worth cleaning up. I'll have to check on eBay and see if they bring very much. I know they were starting to sell. I used to have them in the shop for $10, and then they seem to be getting more than that. But not in the best condition. Although it's not broken, it's just dirty and slightly yellowed. We'll check that one out. Here we have a cast iron stand from something, maybe a microphone stand. Nice little stand. That would be a good base for a little desk lamp. Do I need that? It's too good to scrap. We'll work that out in a minute. More paperwork. This is wiring for the Sterling, that tape deck. Okay, that could be handy. What's in our plastic bag here? Something electric, takes batteries. Oh, okay, is it a kitchen gadget? Looks like it is. A little slicer. Looks a bit gimmicky. Yeah, a little battery operated kitchen processor. I don't see much value in that, but maybe I better check just in case. It appears undamaged. It's probably never been used. Okay, this would be a windscreen wiper motor from that's the sort of yellow paint the wreckers used to use. HA? No? VH. VH Commodore maybe? It's Lucas, so it's an Australian made piece. Don't know if it works. A bit rusty on the top there. We could probably test the motor. VH Commodore. Why is that loose? Maybe someone's been into it. Maybe it had a fault. I'll check that out and see if they're actually worth anything. We might be able to test it. Depends if they're worth anything. Otherwise it could go in our electric motor bin. But it's a shame to scrap motoring history when there could be someone desperately looking for it. A random socket in the bottom here. Just a cheap brand and rusty. That can probably just go in the scrap bin. A light. Not enough going for it to try and fix up or anything. Don't think it's vintage. It's aluminium mostly. I think we'll just scrap that for the metal. And the last thing in here is a trailer extension for your trailer wiring, and that's pretty beaten up and knocked around, and the cord's split. Oh, it's damaged there. That can just go in the scrap. That empties our tub. The tub's not much good. It can go to the tip with the other broken one. So I'll do a bit of checking and a bit of cleaning up, and I'll be back with you shortly. So before we get to the notepad, we might just do a few quick tests to see if some things go. The wiper motor here, VH, isn't a VH Commodore. It's a VH Valiant. Much earlier, the Chrysler Valiants, the VH models were, I think, 71, 72, early 70s anyway. And I checked eBay, and that's how I discovered what it suited. And they bring pretty good money. I saw a couple that had been reconditioned. That one was 400, one was nearly 500. So they're obviously quite sought after. I think it's worth just giving a quick check on this to see. I'm not going to recondition it, but just see if it works. And I think we're probably best to put it on eBay. So I've got my power supply nearly ready to go. I would assume the terminal out the side is the common. It won't matter if we get things wrong and short the power supply because it's current limited, so I won't have any big explosions. Now we've got to watch this arm, because if it works, that arm will rotate. I don't know which terminals to touch. There's probably different speeds. Let's try that one. Oh, okay, that one's either a direct short or something's wrong in the motor. Same with that one. Oh, there we go, that one goes. The motor sounds good, actually. And this other one might be a different speed. Yes, it's slower. So the mechanics sound good. And we have 2 speeds. Maybe I haven't got the common on the right terminal. I guess it'll go backwards if we do it that way, maybe. Yeah. So that's working fine. And that one goes a slower speed. Yeah, they all work that way. All right. I think we can say that that's in working condition. It might well need reconditioning, but it does work. I think we'll put that on eBay and just see how we go. So I'll report on that in a future video. I'm just going to, oh look, it's a bit rusty. It might have some issues. I don't know about the intermittent on the wipers, whether that's something elsewhere in the car that allows you to have an intermittent wiper, or whether there is something wrong here. Not sure. I think I'll just value it at $50 for the sake of putting a value on it today. It could do much better on eBay. I'll let you know down the track. Now, time to test this Sterling car stereo. I've got some speakers just to one channel at the back, 12-volt supply, and I've just got a little antenna here, because you can't usually pick up anything on these things without an antenna on them. So we'll see how we go. Power on. Now, we don't have a light on here or anything. Where's the switch? A light came on. Oh, I can hear a noise straight away. There we go. AM radio works. What about FM? Ah, the switch won't stay in. So when I hold the switch in, it sounds like FM's working. Yeah, but the switch won't stay in. It goes back to AM when I let it go. All right, that's probably an easy fix. So the radio works. Dare we put a cassette in there? It's probably pretty dirty. Oh, now the flap won't come out. We'll try a cassette anyway. Very unlikely if this works, but we'll give it a go. Oh. Fast forward. It works. Amazing. Try to tone up a bit. All right, it probably needs a good service, but it does work. That's awesome. All right, I wonder if we can test the other one. We've got wires everywhere with the other one. Now, I'm not at all hopeful with this. There's wires going all over the place. Obviously, there's a audio connection to the power amp, and there's power coming from the main unit to the power amp. So I've got power onto the white wire, which has the fuse in it, and then the red wire goes from the tape deck to the amp. I've got the negative onto the chassis of the tape deck. I'm not sure if it's electrically connected to this or not. I've hooked up for one speaker. I don't even know what the blue wire does. Maybe it was a power via the ignition switch. Not sure. Let's turn it on now though and see what happens. All right, we've got nothing on the front panel. Switch. That felt like it switched it on, but I've still got nothing. And this is only loose because the nuts come off the back. So we don't appear to have any life in it at all. And there's no indicator on the amplifier whether it's got power. Maybe the negative wire isn't earthing properly. Okay. Look, I don't want to spend hours sorting this out. It's really a big bowl of spaghetti, all these wires. Where's our earth? We should have power, though, to the main, unless a fuse is blown, of course. All right, I'm not going to muck around with it too much longer. I'd like to actually restore this. I reckon it'd be a great unit to have restored, but then we don't have the knobs and we don't have the front panel for it. But it looks like it was a pretty good quality unit, as most Clarions were. So I'm going to put it in the shop as a lot, untested. Well, it is tested, but it's not really tested properly, is it? Because I don't really know what I'm doing. I think we'll put it in just as a project and say $20, and someone will grab it, no doubt, and probably sort it out and get the thing going. I said I am tempted to keep it and do it up one day, but I really don't need more projects on my to-do list at this stage. Okay, time to recap and hit the books in a minute, and we'll have a look at the notepad. We got through a power of stuff in this episode. It went a bit longer than I expected, but we did process a lot of things. I went through the wheels, as I said. I think I wrote down $40 for that because there was, I think, 18 wheels. If they were $5 each, there's about 90. I've gone a little bit less than half to make it realistic, but I think we'll sell more than half of those. This little stand I didn't think much of when I first got it. I buffed up the loose paint, or the rusty parts, and then I sprayed it with clear lacquer, and it looks awesome. I'm sure someone would love that as a microphone stand or a little lamp stand or something like that. I think I went for $10 on that. The little kitchen gadget thing over here, it possibly might even be an ice shaver because the bottom part's got a little pouring spout on it. But I think it's been in floodwaters or something, because that murky stuff there is like silt, and it's right through, and I even have a look in the battery compartment. It's quite corroded. Given that it's a very cheap item anyway, that's going straight in the e-waste, so we won't worry about that. The picture frame cleaned up really well, and it has quite a nice vintage look with the paint sort of gradually decaying there, and I sprayed it with clear lacquer just to stop the paint flaking off anymore, but it's quite solid. We'll get $10 for that pretty easily, I think. I took the antenna out of the packaging, and it does look brand new. I've gone $10 on that. You can buy them online for about $30. I think we'll get 10 for that, no problems. The telephone cleaned up pretty good. I actually took the thing apart and gave it a wash up. And even though it's a little discoloured probably from UV light over the years, it's still in undamaged condition, probably still works. So I think I'll go 20 on that. We've discussed the wiper motor. I'm going to try 50, and I'll let you know down the track how that goes. This one, the Sterling car cassette player, look, as you saw, it works. I think I'll try $20 on it. It probably does need a service. And this other one, I'm going to put $20 on it as it is and just say really unknown condition. Couldn't get it to work, but I really didn't try very hard, as you saw. The solder in the bucket there, I've just allowed $40, which is pretty much lead price. Interestingly, I looked up the sticks online. You can buy them at hardware shops, and they're 250 gram sticks at $15 each. So that works out at $60 a kilo for 60-40 plumber's solder. So I reckon I may as well put them in the shop for much more than lead price. We'll see how we go there. I might take a small tin in and just price them, I don't know, at a reasonable balance between buying new stuff and scrap price. Speaking of scrap, I've got a little bit of wire, a little bit of cast aluminium, a bit of normal aluminium, and a little bit of shred steel. And I think that really sums up our haul for this episode. Oh, we better get to the notepad. It added up to $220. So that's assuming we get 50 for the wiper motor, and of course there'll be fees, but I have a suspicion it will go much better than that, so we could do really well there. Everything else pretty well just as I mentioned. So happy with that, and we got a lot out of the storage shed. And lots of stuff out of here means lots more space. We've made good inroads into that storage shed for this episode, and we've got some good stock to take to the shop and hopefully sell this weekend. Our total is now $220 over $13,000, so we're getting up there. We're marching towards $14,000. It's going to keep adding up, which is great. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you're enjoying this series. We'll catch you next time. Bye for now.